place so cold that your breath could freeze your lungs in just a few seconds? A giant canyon that could swallow the entire Himalayas? Or a dust storm lasting months that blots out the entire sky? These aren't scenes from a sci-fi movie, but realities on the planet right next to us, Mars, also known as the Red Planet. Currently, we are preparing for missions to land humans on Mars in the future, and to establish a long-term human presence there by the 2050s. This is a milestone that is not at all far-fetched, and you, the viewers of this video, could be the ones to conquer that land. But before we're ready to set foot on the Red Planet, we need to know what awaits at the end of the journey. What we'll experience, and what deadly dangers we might face. Join me on today's journey of exploration. I'm Hai Yan. Welcome to this video about Mars and the dangers you might not know. Now, let's begin our exploration. Mars was once a friendly neighbor to us. The distance between Earth and Mars is not fixed because both planets orbit the Sun in elliptical paths. At its farthest, it's about 400 million kilometers away from us. But at its closest, the distance shrinks to just 57 million kilometers. That's the golden opportunity for humans to launch spacecraft to Mars, often called the... According to calculations, approximately every 26 months, the launch window to Mars opens once. With current technology, NASA needs 6 to 9 months to launch a spacecraft to Mars. Ask Perseverance or China. They took about 6 to 7 months to land on the Red Planet. Of course, for future manned flights, the time won't be that long. Currently, scientists are researching and building spacecraft using nuclear technology, capable of generating thrust many times stronger than traditional. Thanks to this, travel time to Mars could be shortened from 7 months to 1.5 to 2 months. Even so, during the journey to Mars, astronauts will be exposed to solar wind and cosmic radiation. Long-term exposure to this radiation could cause astronauts to develop cancer, and even symptoms of Alzheimer's before they reach the Red Planet. Fortunately, scientists aren't helpless against this invisible threat. Some ideas to protect astronauts from radiation have been proposed. For example, the spacecraft hull could be shielded with hydrogen-rich materials, such as water. In practice, living quarters could be designed inside walls filled with water, serving both daily needs and offering excellent radiation absorption. A bolder option is to create an artificial magnetic field around the spacecraft, similar to how Earth protects us from solar radiation. However, this requires a massive energy source from a super compact nuclear reactor that can fit inside the spacecraft. Unfortunately, that technology isn't quite ready yet. Although no one has ever set foot on Mars, thanks to NASA's exploration robots. We've learned how deadly the world behind that brick red beauty truly is. Upon arriving on Mars, what greets us is an incredibly harsh, cold desert world. The first thing we should care about is temperature. In summer, temperatures at Mars equator can reach 35 degrees Celsius. The proper line is 153 degrees Celsius at the poles, showing the extreme temperature differences between regions. Extremely thin atmosphere, which can. The extremely low temperatures of the poles cause the air to freeze into dry ice loss of CO2, forming permanent ice caps at both poles. But CO2 ice doesn't last forever. When exposed to high temperatures, it sublimates and disperses into space. This sublimation can lead to a terrifying weather phenomenon on the Red Planet, dust storms. Radiation from the sun heats the surface, causing air to rise, and cool air from the upper atmosphere is drawn down to fill the vacuum. These contrasting winds create swirling air columns that can be hundreds of meters wide and up to 8.5 kilometers high, though many smaller ones exist. Regardless of their size, as they twist and turn through the desert surrounding Mars, they suck up dust and push it into the atmosphere, creating a haze in the atmosphere as they move. Unlike dust storms on Earth, which last only a few minutes, the red planet is famous for global dust storms that can last for months, blocking sunlight. They typically reappear after 3 Martian years or 5.5 Earth years. Dust storms have always been a nightmare for spacecraft and robots, as they cause solar panels to become covered in dust, collapsing the electrical power supply system. NASA's Opportunity rover experienced such a tragic death in 2018. A dust storm lasting many months forced the rover to enter hibernation mode, and it never woke up again. Equivalent to living at an altitude of 35 kilometers above Earth. There, the air is almost a vacuum. Mars has a very thin atmosphere, mainly carbon dioxide, accounting for about 96%. The rest is argon, nitrogen, and small amounts of water and oxygen, which prevents it from blocking solar radiation and cosmic rays from attacking the planet. As a result, an astronaut standing on Mars would endure radiation levels 50 to 100 times higher than the average on Earth. But the harsh weather and climate are just the tip of the iceberg. Because Mars is not only harsh in terms of weather, climate, pressure, or raging dust storms, but also because of the mysterious and hazardous terrains we had yet to discover. They are scattered across the planet's surface, from canyons so deep they could swallow the entire Himalayas, to giant volcanoes several times taller than Mount Everest, the highest peak on Earth. Each area hides its own unique threat. And now, we will embark on a journey to discover the most dangerous place on Mars. First, let's face one of the most dangerous and mysterious locations on the Red Planet, which is Valles Marineris, also known as the Canyon of Death. This is the deepest and longest canyon in the solar system. Valles Marineris is 4,000 kilometers long, up to 200 kilometers wide, and 7 kilometers deep. Hidden within it are countless deadly dangers for anyone daring to set foot there. Formed billions of years ago, this canyon is evidence of extremely powerful geological upheavals, which tore the Martian surface apart and created a vast chasm that still lacks a complete explanation for its formation. But the grandeur of Valles Marineris comes not only from its massive size but also from the existence of extremely difficult and hazardous terrain. Along the canyon walls, one can find sheer cliffs, unstable ground, and flows of deep pits. All of these create an extremely dangerous environment for any exploration mission. Not to mention, sudden temperature changes and intense dust storms are always lurking, ready to turn this land into a deadly trap. One wrong step, and you could fall thousands of years freely in this deadly canyon. Leaving the Canyon of Death, we will come to one of the most magnificent and dangerous wonders of Mars, called Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the solar system. If Valles Marineris is a terrifying abyss, then Olympus Mons is a formidable opponent in the opposite direction. With a height of 22 kilometers, Olympus Mons is nearly 3 times taller than Mount Everest and has a diameter of up to 600 kilometers. It is so tall that if you stand from the summit, you can see the curvature of Mars. But behind that majestic beauty lies a hidden danger not everyone realizes immediately. Olympus Mons is not an ordinary volcano. It is a shield volcano, a type of giant volcano that has been inactive for millions of years, but still harbors the potential for eruption. Evidence includes traces of relatively young eruptions only a few million years old. A sudden eruption here could wipe out a vast area. Olympus Mons possesses a crater up to 80 kilometers wide and a system of fissures. What is special about Olympus Mons is that the surface area around the mountain is extremely difficult to access. Steep slopes and rugged rocky terrain pose a major threat to exploration vehicles and astronauts. Moreover, a dusty storm environment always exists around the area, limiting visibility and navigation capabilities, forming a deadly trap for anyone not thoroughly prepared. From the majestic volcanoes, we turn to one of the harshest and most mysterious regions of Mars, the southern polar region. Covered by a layer of dry ice and icy clouds, this is the target of many landing missions that is very difficult to access. The southern polar region of Mars is not only a place with extremely low, which is roughly -153 degrees Celsius in winter, but also a place where massive icy regions exist, hiding countless terrain hazards. This dense ice sheet covers part of Mars' surface, making movement extremely difficult and dangerous. Beneath the ice, atmospheric phenomena constantly change, generating strong winds and sandstorms that can strike at any time. Particularly, the South Polar region also has deep pits and strange geological structures. These ice structures can easily fracture and collapse, causing any vehicle or exploration equipment to be easily damaged or trapped. Additionally, the South Polar region also harbors signs of water, whether in ice or groundwater form, opening the possibility of finding traces of ancient life, but simultaneously holds risks of earthquakes or sudden temperature changes that spacecraft cannot yet accurately predict. So, the big question is, why are humans willing to face deadly dangers? From terrifying dust storms to harsh terrain and bone-chilling cold, just to set foot on a distant, barren planet like Mars? Because it is within the harshest lands that the universe's greatest secrets are hidden. These could be traces of ancient water. Water may have once flowed through dry riverbeds, large frozen lakes. And along with that, hope for the existence of past microorganisms. Evidence that could completely change humanity's understanding of our place in the universe. It could also be valuable resources, from water ice, iron oxides, to materials for energy, which can provide a foundation for long-term missions, even an extraterrestrial colony in the not-too-distant future. But above all, because we are humans, beings of curiosity and the aspiration to explore. Even facing risks, dangers, or the unknown, we will still advance toward the stars. Because that is how humanity evolves. And that is why NASA, SpaceX, and numerous other space organizations are striving to develop the most advanced technologies to directly confront the dangers and bring humans to Mars within the next few decades. Not only to live, but to explore, to understand the Red Planet, and to shape humanity's future. In his inauguration speech on January 20, 2025, President Donald Trump declared, "The United States will pursue its manifest destiny toward the stars, sending American astronauts to Mars to map the planet." NASA director nominated by Trump, Isaac Mann, also reiterated that desire during his hearing. He emphasized that NASA will prioritize sending humans to Mars after establishing a human presence on the Moon. They even aim to land humans on Mars before China. A dry, dead, and mysterious world, but the most dangerous places hold the strongest allure for exploration. What do you think? If given the chance, where should humans live on Mars? Leave your opinion in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Oddity Odyssey channel so you don't subscribe to the Amigo channel so you don't miss exciting videos.